Christopher Nolan, a visual imagination of Picasso, the abstract intelligence of Einstein, the writing chops of Conan O'Brien, and the verbal prowess of a professor. They'll never make a more perfect director. Hello, bros! So today I'm gonna talk about the god among men. The man, the myth, the legend. The maker of masterpieces. Christopher fucking Nolan. Firstly, my bros, movies are for entertainment. Everything else comes second. But at the same time, Nolan has such a philosophical depth that even Immanuel Kant would turn on his grave due to jealousy. And anyone who thinks otherwise is either too stupid to understand Nolan's complex films, or they are film snobs that think that watching stupid French films where nothing happens makes them smart. Before I got into Nolan, I only watched Fast and Furious films and new Netflix movies. And those are great on their own right, and I still adore those films. But when I was watching those films, I never knew that movies could have such scientific and philosophical depth. But Christopher Nolan was a true revelation to me. A revelation indeed. I'm in film school because of Christopher Nolan. I made my bachelor's dissertation on Nolan and the subtleties of physics and philosophy. And now I'm doing my master's thesis where I do a Lacanian psychoanalysis on the dreams in Inception. Also, I have done 2 other papers on Christopher Nolan. The first one was called The Fragile White Male Ego in the Prestige, a feminist critique utilizing Jacques Derrida's deconstruction. The second one was called Toxic Masculinity in Pseudo-Heroic Clothes, a study of Bruce Wayne in the Dark Knight trilogy. All my classmates did their dissertations and theses on Edgar Wright and Quentin Tarantino and other greats like Tim Burton, Steven Spielberg and Ridley Scott, but I decided that I want to do my papers on Christopher Nolan because I feel like he has gotten so underrated in academia lately, when all of my classmates did their papers on other great filmmakers. And by the way, I don't wanna talk my classmates down because I love those other directors as well. Again, I'm a big fan of Edgar Wright. I'm a big fan of the master of dialogue himself, Quentin Tarantino, and of course the master of sentimentality, Steven Spielberg. I love all those directors, but I think I have a beautiful knack for writing about underrated directors like Christopher Nolan, so that's how I made my choice. I heard from a friend recently that she thinks that Andrei Tarkovsky is the greatest filmmaker ever. I was like, Andrei Tarkovsky? Really? Who is that even? Fuck that biznatch. I need to read subtitles to watch his films. Oh jeez, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna fucking do that. I only watch English-speaking films. Anglosphere is the only thing I need. Again, American culture is the peak culture ever. I mean, when you have Hollywood, you don't need anything else. Am I right, bros? Let's forget those nasty foreign films now and go back to the Messiah. He challenges his viewers with non-linear storytelling, plot twists, science, and philosophy. But he has his viewers in mind, as he has a beautiful knack for writing great exposition, so even his most stupid viewers can understand his films. How thoughtful and kind of him. Thoughtful and kind, indeed. Time for me to explain what I have said so far. I hope that you aren't confused, so I want to make sure that you are following me, just like Nolan would do with his exposition in his great films. So far, I have tried to tell you why Christopher Nolan is the greatest filmmaker of all time, and I also talked about how he inspired me to become a filmmaker myself and go to film school. And I also tried to argue why foreign films are a waste of time, those nasty foreign films. Don't watch them. Anglosphere is all that you need, my bros. But back to Nolan. He's the most ambitious filmmaker of all time. Has there ever been another director with such grandiose, bigger-than-life ideas that are realized in such an awe-inspiring manner? And I cannot believe how airtight his scripts are, considering the philosophical and scientific depth in them. So like I said already, Nolan is the greatest filmmaker of all time. A top list that doesn't include Nolan is rotten to the very core. And if you ever see a list like that, my bros, my minions, my horde, you need to shout those people down in YouTube, in Twitter, in Letterboxd. Make them feel bad. Make them feel our hate in their bones. and show them why we are the most toxic and dogmatic fanbase in all of internet. But in a good way. Outrage is the best way of spreading the utterly beautiful gospel of Christopher Nolan and his films. Now, let's talk about Nolan film called The Prestige. The Prestige is incredibly underrated. It only has 1.3 million ratings in IMDb and an average of 8.5, while it is in the top 50 of all time in IMDb. But believe me, you need to see it now, and it's incredibly underrated. It has an incredible twist. It has drool-worthy cinematography. And a great cast filled with our dude bro favorites like Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale. And did I say it's underrated already? Now, my bros, I'm gonna praise Inception. One of the most creative films ever made, with an incredibly complex and brilliant plot. It's about dreams and the possibilities are then endless. And Nolan decided to show roads going upside down and a minor flood. Oh, how brilliant! How could anyone think of that? I think David Lynch is really jealous of Nolan, because in David Lynch films he just comes up with these very boring dreams where nothing happens, but when we see a Nolan dream film, we see all these action set pieces, great exposition, world famous actors like Leonardo DiCaprio, Tom Hardy, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. What a great film, what a great film. But due to the complexity of the film, I still struggle with my analysis for my thesis. And my professors aren't any help either. I've been watching all the explained videos on YouTube by other Nolan bros, and that has helped me a lot. And I've come up with some straight fire interpretations after I've watched those killer YouTube videos. I can always count on my bros to help me. Oh, how I love you guys. My bros, my brethren. Those business professors of mine can go fuck themselves for analyzing those boring old subtitled European movies where nothing happens, and not to mention all the problematic themes in them. I need my droney Hans Zimmer scores, exposition and big action set pieces and explosions, and not to mention those great theme park visuals, brah. Interstellar is straight fire, my bros, the best sci-fi film of all time. Some people would say that 2001 is the best sci-fi film of all time, but I haven't seen it because it was made in the 1960s, so it's way too old for me. I only watch films that were made in the 1980s and onwards. And not to mention how my bros have told me that they fell asleep after watching 15 minutes of 2001, so it cannot be good. But back to the complexity of Interstellar. Me and my bros at the university have established a film club that is completely dedicated to the film Interstellar. And in that club we try to analyze the film Interstellar from all different angles. The club consists of physics doctors and both analytical and continental philosophers, but we still struggle with the film. We still haven't come to any kind of a concrete conclusion what the film means and what it tries to say to the world. I've heard that common saying that you need a physics PhD to understand Interstellar, but it's even more than that. Like I just told you, even my fellow physics PhDs cannot understand the film. Even after hours and hours of analysis and discussion of the film, we cannot understand it. But one thing that we got from the film is that love conquers all. Am I right, bitches? Give Nolan an Oscar already. How does this unique author not have an Oscar already? It is ridiculous, my bros. We need to cancel the Oscars now. So my fellow Nolanoids, let's unite and raise hell. Let's bring fury and outrage. That's the Nolanoid way. Our Messiah needs his golden statue already. Let's spread the gospel of Nolan and obliterate the sheer ignorance of these vermin. Fuck the Oscars. Well, my brodom, please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. And please consider becoming a Brotreon member, so I can raise enough money to make my own following and become like my master, my inspiration in life, Nolan the Messiah. Bye for now!